Years ago, our presenter, Mario Lopez, and I worked with the UUs to create Caminamos Juntos, a migrant support organization here in San Miguel. It served its purpose and it inspired more migrant assistance, including ABBA House, whom we've all heard about over the years. And at this point, ABBA House has outgrown its capacity to serve all of the migrants that come through there. Again, enter Mario, a world-class architect who specializes in shelter architecture, designing spaces for human dignity, spaces which are inclusive and welcoming and safe. This is especially true of Mario's current project, which will house migrants who have lost limbs in their efforts to trek from danger into a better life. As Mario says, our commitment is to honor and care for each person who will call this home. This space will respect individual needs and celebrate each person's unique journey. Please help me welcome Mario Lopez.
Hi everyone. Good morning. I'm really happy to be here. Uh, Sorry about sometimes my English isn't the best, so I will try to find the word to be here with you. Um, I want to talk about first my family, an experience about my family. You will see. Oh, oh, sorry. I think it's in the Diego, can we put it in the beginning, please? Because I think it's at the end. All right. Okay, you're right there. Thank you. So, it's right here. No, all right, right there. That's that's my grandfather in the Rotarios in Mexico City Rotario community, and he was the director of a beer factory in Cervecería Cuauhtémoc Moctezuma. So probably you know Bohemia beer. If you like it, it's because of him. So I'm really proud about that. But also, this little guy is myself. So I'm really happy to be here. I feel Rotario do a wonderful work in Mexico, but also in San Miguel de Allende. So first, thank you for your work. I think it's wonderful. It's fantastic. So I want to talk about the shelter and the shelter architecture. What happened when we have all these crises, and what happened with the people who is moving around, not only because of political problems, but also because climate change, but also because the violence in another countries. So what we do is to work, in this case, to shelter this movement. There are thousands, millions of people moving around, and it has been all time, not only in this century, but all time. And these migrations change communities. And well, expats in San Miguel change communities. What we are for good. And this is what we are thinking and we are trying to provide. Migration, workforce or voluntary, poses enormous challenge in terms of infrastructure and urban design. Urban design and the needs of shelter change inside and outside the city. And we're trying to provide these opportunities of change for a better spaces for the migrants who are coming to Mexico. And some of them are staying over here, a lot of them, because political issues. So what we want to do is to give them good shelter. Pastor Ignacio is a leader and also is a wonderful person. He is connected with incredible uh, persons too, but at the same time, the work that he does as the leader of ABBA AC is to change the communities in Celaya. The migrants who arrive to Celaya are persons who have been walking around 1 month, sometimes 2 months, and they come all the way from the Amazon. And sometimes, as the last um, week, I think, we receive Irans and people from Pakistan. They're coming from all the world to Mexico. And they're trying to go to the United States, some of them, but some of them, they are staying here. The Secretary of Human Rights of Guanajuato, la licenciada Alejandro Esparza Frausto, is committed with us to do this new shelter. She's the right hand of the governor, and she's working with us to do this work. So what we want to do is to establish good connections with the government, but also with the community. And as a leader, Ignacio helped us to integrate all together to do this work. In Celaya, we work close to the trains. The trains are really close to our shelter, in front of the shelter. So people go up of the train, and the train doesn't give a lot of chances to go to the bathroom or to eat, and accidents happened. Some of them fell from the train, and they lose hands or probably legs, and it's terrible for them to go through the process of reintegration to the community, because now they can't work. So we are trying to work with ABBA to establish a shelter for disabled persons who lose a leg or probably they feel psychologically bad. Ignacio and the group give food sometimes in the night when the train is coming, because they're kids. They're little kids. They're trying to get integrated with the family, and these kids are probably the youngest one, 6 months. As I said, Ignacio is a wonderful leader and a great person. You need to know him. I hope you know him. Um, Laura Casillas, she is the wife of the Presidente Municipal of Celaya, municipal president of Celaya. And in this new government in Celaya, she helped us a lot. She's working with us with this new shelter, and she came to the party. We have a party December 18th. It was a wonderful reunion with different parties from different areas. It wasn't only a reunion of for migrants, but also for the leaders who come with us and help us. In that moment, there were about 12 kids in the shelter. Our mission, the mission of our new center, is to create a safe, inclusive space that champions dignity and human rights for people with disabilities, guided by the core value of security, free access, healing, sustainability, and social integration. That's what we want for this shelter. Security, not only the security as we know about the violence in Celaya. Celaya, it's a tough city, and we're trying to make the best for the shelter, but also the security for the people who has these problems, and we want them to they walk through the shelter with dignity, so they can move around without problem. Free access. Mario Lopez Arquitectura, my workshop, we work with free access. Free access is so important because we walk around the life, and when the beginning of the life, at the end of the life, we need help. We need help to go through the space with rails, with special instruments that help us to go and to use the space. In this case, as an architect, and my team worked really hard to renew and rebuild spaces so everybody can walk and go through the space without a problem. That's free access for all. Healing is a huge word. It's not only healing as a psychological or physical instrument, but also the soul of the person. So we're trying to heal the soul, the dignity of the person. They have been in a rough and tough spaces, sometimes in violating the human rights of the person. So what we do is to heal in all the aspects. It's a huge objective in our shelter. Healing means fun, as you said in the first commitment or the first question that you have. Fun is really important. Love is really important. They need to start to love again and also play again. So the kids, we're trying to make them play again because sometimes they want to be in the inside of in the shelter, in the actual shelter, inside of the room, closed, secure, and we want to open that space, and that means play again. We want to do that in this new shelter. Sustainability, we're harvesting rainwaters everywhere. We're going to have 30 tons of water to rain all the gardens that we're going to have, but also to use it for the system inside of the house. Of course, we're going to have a huerto. I don't know how to say that. Un huerto, like a garden, but with food. So, and the social integration with the community, that is so important. That's part of our objective. They're going to be Guatemaltecans, Salvadoreñans, Hondureñans, all these people from all these countries. They want to be in Mexico. So if they want to be in Mexico, we can help them to integrate with the community. Our commitment is to honor and care for every person who will call this center, this new center, home, creating an environment that respects individual needs and celebrates each person's unique journey. That's our objective and commitment. We have ACNUR from the United Nations who is working with us, IOM, the United Nations, the migration system from United Nations that also is working with us, Latin American Relief Fund, and our team. We are 15 people in my workshop with engineers and architects, and I'm really honored to present to you this new shelter. The shelter is a shelter for the migrants that are coming, but also for people who is trying to stay in Mexico. This shelter is secure. This is a about 4 meters tall wall with a security entrance and steel doors in the front facade, and it presents a closed facade for security. Sorry that the area is too small for a plane, but I will try to explain this. So this is the entrance that we saw here is right in this part, in the front side. The administration building with the security. We have a clinic. We're going to have doctors inside. We're going to have a dentist and a general doctor. And at the same time, an area, if sometimes comes with COVID, because the immigrants come with sick, they're sick because of the trip. We have a space to ensure that they are going to be closed spaces, and then we're going to translate them to the hospital. So we receive people with tuberculosis, we receive people with virus, and we put it apart, and then we bring it to the hospital, and then we're coming back to the shelter. This is the clinic. And all this area are services with a road behind to bring all the services to these little spaces that are laundry, storage, and all of that type of things. This is a recovering center. We're going to have special, um, um, oh my God, um, instruments so they can make exercises. And if they are amputee, they can do works. So they can use it for another thing. They can work with that, and they can go outside with help. And sometimes it's a wheelchair, but sometimes by themselves. A really important part, the kitchen with our dining room for the half of the 94 persons shelter. These 94 migrants are going to live in here, some of them asking for asylum, or some of them recovering from these problems. All these areas are connected. So if the family comes with grandparents, we can connect from each room to the next one. And that means that if there are coming kids alone, we have special spaces for them. If there are girls in one side, boys in one side. If there are coming couples, we give them one room. If there are coming couples and one of them needs a special bathroom because he is disabled, we give him that room. And all of them are connected. At the same time, we have workshops to integrate the community. These workshops work with art. We have spaces for kids, the ludoteca, and the playground that, as I said, is really important for us. That is really close to the dining zone, the dining area, and also with the workshops. We have a library and a huge plaza so they can walk and feel free. This is the second floor, the direction of the administration it is. And you can see over here in the roof all the solar panels that we're going to have because our energy is going to be solar. This is the interior side of the center, the shelter, the administration area with the bathrooms. You can see over here the workshops, administration direction, and also the dining area with all the services in one side. This is another view. We're going to add some tables to play some things so they can eat outside or they can be outside because after the road, nature is healing nature. It helps to heal. This is the view of the workshops. One side, we want to have a room so they can have classes, different type of classes, Spanish. And some of them doesn't know how to speak well, and they need to know how to read. So we want them also to know about limpieza, hygiene. Thank you so much. Hygiene. And they need to know how to use a bathroom sometimes. And we help them to do that. These are part of the shelter, the front facade of our apartments. As you see, we have little gardens, so they are going to be able to put type of flowers. They can be responsible for part of the garden inside of the shelter. Also, we have an open space between the walls, and we want to use that for a projector in the night so they can see TV or probably have a concert with music, classic music. And this part, it's like an atrium. It's an atrium. This is our dining area, and it's really open. We're going to open We have a huge area of ventilation in top parts of the roofs, so everything is ventilated all the time. Ventilated but not open. You don't see the glass, but we have a glass over there. Art is so important to express. Sometimes art always change lives, but art helps to heal. So we're trying to heal with them. And you can see over here how departments are connected. We have a little kitchen in some of the apartments and a small bathroom. If the person doesn't need a bathroom with all the disabilities needed. So the doors are different and they connect each of them. So if a family of 6 comes, that it happens sometimes, they are connected. And they have gardens in front and behind. So they can also be responsible for a garden. And that changes lives. If you have a garden, you need to be careful about your garden and bring your garden, change your life. Like you need to be careful about a plant. And they know a lot of things about plants because they come from plants, the Amazon sometimes, and they come from areas that they know better for us about better than us how to use these green areas. Latin American Relief Fund have been working really hard to bring all together and to work with us and to raise money because it's expensive. Since 2018, Latin American Relief Fund have been working to raise this money. And of course, it's going to be wonderful if you can help us. So that's it. Thank you so much. Thank you for listening.
Questions?
Yeah, really good question. Sometimes the asylum request, it takes 2 years. Yes, 2 years. Why? That's a question that I have a lot. Why is 2 years of request? The situation is that we know a political change in Mexico and United States, but the thing is that here, the area of the government that allow us to have asylum, it had reduced themselves. Why? We don't know. But as they reduce, the time go farther. That's why.
Yeah. Okay. Gary.
Are the photos that we just saw, is that currently open and how long has it been open? That is your dream, not reality, correct?
It's correct. Thank you. Yes, we are seeing what we are going to do. We are now, I'm really happy to share this. I think it's the first to know that we're going to start with the walls. We're going to start right now with the permissions with the government of Celaya, and they are really, really kind people. They know about our need and the needs of migrants. So we're trying to resolve the fastest as we can the permissions to make the walls for the security inside. Then we can start to work inside. It's a stage project. We're not going to be able to do everything at the same time, but we know what to do first.
Celaya actually donated the land.
First off, thank you for your presentation. I'm really impressed with the work that ABBA House does. I read the other day that the Sheinbaum administration has created 60,000 jobs for deported individuals from Mexico. So she's trying to do something about migration. Can you expect any help from her administration for this project?
I think we have a really extraordinary relation with the state government. We have a really wonderful relation with the federal government, but they are more close to share. So what we have now is the government backup. from the state of Guanajuato. They're extraordinary. Alejandra, the person that I showed at first, is the right hand of the governor, and she's really into with Ignacio. Ignacio is an incredible person. He changed lives. I know him. The first time I know him, it was in front of 1,000 persons looking for a cobija, a mattress, because they didn't have it. And it was cold in December. And this guy, it was 48 hours without eating or sleeping, giving that. Hard. Incredible. Yeah.
Great talk, Mario.
Oh, thank you.
I'm wondering how this whole idea got started. You know, was it Ignacio's idea and then you came along or what? It just seems like it's expanded ABBA House tremendously.
True. Well, it's a community work. I think that's wonderful. That is not a one person lead. Also, Ignacio leads, of course, because he managed, he pushed, he is the leader of the project. But we work with him. We know that we can do this shelter, and he knows how to give us hope as we think. Um, Latin American Relief Fund had been working with him the last 10 years probably, and he had been developed a system to integrate our help with Latin American Relief Fund, and I'm so honored to be part of this work, and they invite me. So that's why we're doing our best for the shelter.
Coming right back here to you and then back here.
Hola, congratulations for your amazing work.
Thank you.
And I just want to say that we have a permanent program, which is a prosthetic hand donation, and it's for free. So we have to get together and we can just help many people through you. And we can help them by ABBA and other NGOs that you have in Celaya. So we have a lot, and we can work together to help more people.
That's a wonderful news because USAID change. We are trying to bring some things to Casa Aba. So I'm going to tell Ignacio, and thank you so much. Gracias.
We have a question from Zoom. It says, what is the source for funding the project? Charitable contributions, the United Nations support? Question.
It's United Nations support, yes. ACNUR first, OIM second, but at the same time, LARF have been doing a lot. The Latin American Relief Fund in San Miguel de Allende have been helping run the house, because the house is a maintenance house, sometimes with 200 people living at the same time inside of the house, and sometimes giving food to thousands that are going through or passing over. But the thing here is that we're open now to angels. Angels. We know that they are there and we know them. Sometimes it's hard to find them, but sometimes they're exactly in the next door. So we have a page, and always it happened, miracles. Sometimes they give us the money for a wall, for example.
Okay, this is to extend on what you're saying, Mario.
Yes.
One of the things that in this design that I heard Mario speak before is that it can grow, the design can grow. So it can be partially built and then added on to as money is raised. But what I think, what I came away from the last time I heard Mario speak is that this is a really easy, could be an easy project for those of us who have communities, come from communities in the U.S., particularly cities maybe that are sanctuary cities like I did from Austin, and that, you know, if we can go back and create some interest up there, some of the Latin American relief people, Rebecca and Judith
Judy.
are traveling into the U.S. when they're invited to, they're invited to Seattle, they've been invited to some different cities, then they go and they make a presentation. So it would be something that as Rotarians and as expats who have connections still to our other side of the border life can create those kind of gatherings for people to hear about it and to make donations because those angels, we need to find them.
Mhm.
First piece of the project is costing 500,000 just to get the land prepared and begin and secured. And then the next piece of the project to build it completely out is going to be a couple of million. But we can do it. Dollars. But we can do it.
I too am from Austin. Are you familiar with the tiny house village in Austin?
Yes.
I built at that.
Oh, really?
village. The church that I go to is built almost 100 houses.
Wow.
I would be happy to introduce you to the guy that runs Tiny House Village
Oh,
in Austin
please. It's
easily.
it's wonderful
John.
that yes, we are open to all kind of help to bring this hope again. Like we are all really open and thank you. Yes, please.
I want to tell you too that some of you have seen Juanito on the street on San Francisco. Juanito doesn't have legs and he's out there all but Thursdays. That's his job. Somebody drives him in an hour, just in his wheelchair, not in a car. And he sits there and makes his living this way. And I told him about this and he said, I'd be glad to go to ABBA House and help raise the animal.
Yes.
So people are coming in from all over. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, hi, thank you so much for your great work. This may be a dumb question and you may not know the answer to it, but where do you anticipate the migrants coming from? What majority of countries do you?
It's a really important question, and we are thinking they're coming from around the globe. Around the globe, You're not gonna believe that sometimes Chinese open the door of ABBA. And Ignacio explained to me the last week that from Iran, they. I want to talk about that 2 minutes. They changed their beliefs. They are not again, well, a family changed. They said, okay, we believe now in Christianity. Good. But in Iran, the thing is that if you change your belief, you can be killed. So they left the country and they say where we can go. And they decide United States. They have the capability to pay some things. They are not poor people. But they felt in danger in Mexico. They were kidnapped, and thank God they took it out from this situation, and they arrived to ABBA. And when they arrived to ABBA, they were like really concerned what was happening. Ignacio took the cell phone because none of them talk English or Spanish or Iranian. Irani. So they start to do the translate with Google, and they explain to them that they are home. They are home. That they need to be relaxed and feel safe. It was hard the first day, but then things start to change. Culture is really a challenge. Chinese, Indians, and what we are trying to do is to make the easiest way of the architectural shelter to serve the space. So everybody can go inside a space and can use it. That's why we're going to teach them how to use the space. The bathrooms, for example, some of them doesn't have it, or the showers.
I think to expand on that is that the ABBA House really has two intentions. It opened in first Trump years because of the deportations, in anticipation of the deportations. So we can anticipate that that's going to increase. So when you're with your question of where are they coming from, they're going to start coming from the U.S. And then the caravans hit, the phenomena of the caravans. And so Ignacio was bedding up to 400 people a night during the caravan times. And like Mario's sharing, and I mean, they got a Palestinian recently, they got Indians and Chinese, but the majority are Venezuela and the U.S.
And during COVID, they didn't have one issue of COVID.
Just to clarify, you already own all of the land.
Oh, that's a really good question. Thank you again. Yes, but it wasn't. We didn't buy it. Celaya government understand the importance of the project, and they give us for free the lands.
So the goal,
3,500 square meters of land.
so the goal is to build a wall around that land.
Well, that's our first goal.
Yes.
But what we want is to go through the stages.
We got to start somewhere.
Exactly.
We were recently out there and somebody had burned down 2 trees. So we have to protect the land so that we can do what we need to with the land. Next question. We need it for Zoom.
What is the source of the violence in Celaya, and why would it be directed at your project?
Okay, the violence comes from drug dealers and a war between cartels. And that's one question. The second one is that migrants are a source of money for them. So what we want to do is to change the feeling of insecurity in the transition. And that's why I think the walls are really important. They're concrete walls, 4 meters high. I don't know how much that is in feet, but huge, 13 feet. It's a huge thing, important. Yes.
So, people come up here on that train. They're walking, but if they can catch the train, they do that, but the train never stops. And it's been said, various statistics at various times, that up to 100% of the people on the train are violated. Yeah. So this is why they jump off the train.
Thank you for everything you've been doing. And I have a question more in the design, because probably I'm wrong, and I hope to be wrong, but I've been doing investigation about psychological process in trans migrants, specific in one house, not in ABBA. I have to took something smaller. But it's frequent they have psychotic breaks and psychiatric issues. And in the area of your hospital, I didn't see like a space meant to be to guard these kind of issues. I don't know if you have that in consideration, because at least in my experience, like probably at least once per month, I was forced to handle these kind of issues. I don't know if you have some.
Thank you, Carla. Yes, what we are doing is that we divide the space of a recovering area with the exercise space, with the instruments, because they have a type of chair that they need to use to start to stand, and also poleas, so they exercise their hands and the chest. So all these things are like instruments, as we said. But also in the second area, we have like a yoga mat area. So if they want to walk or they want to practice, they fall and they have a space to be inside. Of course, we don't have glasses. We don't have mirrors. It's a secure space that we can use to bring them in this process of reaction, a space to deliver that, but at the same time to attend them personally. No? It's really difficult. The program is one of the most difficult programs that I ever done. Like the architectural program, because you need to be careful about a lot of things. You don't know the amount of things that Protección Civil, civil protection, ask us. Like, it's huge. and we have a bunch of rules to go for. So they ask us for the clinic, for there are different things. So we are trying to go as clear and following all the rules. We know the rules, but to match all of them. And there are federal rules, government, national rules, state rules, municipality rules, good rules.
Yeah.
A lot of them.
They say nobody leaves home unless home is the mouth of a shark. Any other questions? Thank you so much, Mario.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks for coming today. Thank you for an amazing presentation. Wow, learned a lot. Have a great week. See you next Tuesday.